A great team, the perfect team with brilliant staff working together, humming along. It's what we all want, isn't it? And I'll be honest with you, at the moment, I don't always hear about it. In fact, at the moment, the single biggest challenge I hear about from business owners is just getting a good team. Now, some of those challenges are actually just sourcing talent. The labour market is, what are we? We're fully employed at the moment, and it is hard to attract talent. But between attracting talent, keeping talent, and getting it really humming along, it's got to be close to the most important thing in business, certainly the most valuable and the most exciting when it works, when you get that brilliant team. So how do you do it? There are various smaller techniques or specific processes involved. How to recruit well, how to train people, how to develop people. So I won't go into those. What I want to talk about, though, is just how to make yourself an attractive place to work. Because in the end, I'm absolutely convinced, and I've been around business for quite a while now, I'm absolutely convinced that every business ends up with the staff it deserves. Are you somewhere that people really want to work? Why? How strong is your proposition? Now, companies have pursued some quite innovative, quite fun ways of making themselves look like fun places to work, and that's great. You've seen ping pong tables and snooker tables and open bars and free food and massages and so on and so forth. All of those are things you can try in your business, and obviously they can work. I want to focus, though, on the more fundamental, the more foundational things that every business must be doing. If you want to add a pool table as well, that's fine. But these are foundational things that every business can do, every business should do, and actually correlate with the primary motivators of people at work. So I've got a random collection here. This is not an exhaustive list, but they're certainly ones that count. I'll start with recognition, because it is actually the number one motivator of people at work. Study after study, year after year, show that that's the primary thing. And we're not talking about financial motivation. We're not talking about what you pay. We're talking about how well do you recognize, and you as a business, as well as a boss, how well do you recognize your team? I know my first boss, and he was a brilliant manager of people. He used to say to me, Andrew, make sure you catch someone out every day. Yep, Andrew, catch someone out doing the right thing every day. Someone from your team. Give feedback every day. If that means you need to have a little reminder come up on your phone at 6 p.m. just to remind you, who did I see do something good today? What was a good piece of work that I saw today? Who could I send a text message to now? It's very easy to do, of course. Recognize people every day. In addition, recognize them in different ways. You might be in the habit of sending that daily text message. Brilliant. Calling people out while you're at work, going over and tapping someone on the shoulder and recognizing them for the work they've done. Some people, of course, like public recognition. So you might want to be calling them out in front of the team, or you might want to be giving them an award at the end of the week. You might have a big annual award. Obviously, some companies like to go for things like staff member of the month, employee of the month, that type of thing. Give it a try. There should be different forms of recognition, different frequencies of recognition. I've never seen a business go wrong from doing too much staff recognition, but I've seen plenty go wrong for doing too little. Recognition is probably the one I would start with. Now, in terms of how people go about working, a couple of tips there. One, a simple one, make sure they're playing to their strengths. Now, you can't always get this perfect, but as a starting point, perhaps complete the Strengths Finder. It's an online tool, it's very quick and easy to do. And when I say complete it, you should complete it, but get your staff to complete it. And once you recognize where their strengths lie in terms of not just technical ability, but style of work, style of interaction, then you can ensure that at least the majority of their time is spent working in an area they're strong in. Makes them progress more, makes them achieve more, makes them enjoy it more. Therefore, be more engaged, and in the end, they're going to stay more. Also, just check in the way they're allowed to work. You know, if you want a really high-performing team and a team who are motivated and want to stay, then you've got to let them do their jobs, empower them, leave them to do their jobs. Sure, there must be some monitoring periodically to make sure they're doing their job. There must be some accountability. And obviously, there has to be support. You might need to offer them some training, some coaching. You might need to just be ensuring they've got the right tools, the right equipment, the right things they need to do their job. So support them. But in the end, let them do their job. Get your hands off it, let them do it. Very important. A couple of others. I think people tend to be more motivated if they can understand how the work they're doing relates to the greater good. So usually what that means is all staff need to have a really good understanding of why the business is doing what it's doing. Why are we going down this path? Why are we producing this or pursuing that? And then they have to have line of sight as to how their role and what they're doing, the work I'm doing today, how does it connect to that? How does it contribute to that? How does it help that? And if I can get that alignment between what I'm doing and see how it's contributing to something that is positive and that I believe in, then that's likely to keep me going as well. Similarly, just visibility of my future. Brightness of future is very powerful. People like to progress towards an attractive thing. So making sure that every member of your team has brightness of future. They've got, you've spoken to them and they have some clarity around where could this lead in future? What job could I get? Is there a promotion I could get in a couple of years? Is there a new department I could move into? And for some, it's even a different career in future or an external opportunity in future. If they're thinking about that and that's going to motivate them, you being part of the journey is going to be better for you than just letting them go and ignoring them. So that's another thing to do as well. In the end, though, you can look at a couple of really basic things as well. How much do they enjoy their work? The actual work they're doing. Are they enjoying it? And are they engaged with it? Does it challenge them a little, push them a little bit? Again, as I said before, people are motivated to progress in a positive direction. So progress. If people are growing, getting a bit better, learning new things, which sometimes means they're being challenged a little bit, not overwhelmed, not drowning in it, but are they being challenged a bit and therefore they're engaged and they're pushing a bit harder? That's fun. Now, if they're also doing that with some other team members who they like, who they're engaged with, who they go to for ideas, who they offer suggestions to, they support each other, you see this type of an interaction where they're creating it themselves, then you've got signs of a really productive team, a really high quality, high performing team. And most of all, when people are working in a team like that, they tend not to leave. And suddenly you've got employees for a long time. And what's more, they're talking to their mates outside and suddenly you've got people knocking on the door. Make your company a great place to work. Everything I've just mentioned is within the control of any manager, any business owner. Make sure you're doing all those things, and I think you'll find you've got a pretty motivated team. They'll stay and they'll attract more. All the best with it. Enjoy your new team.